What's up, everybody? It's Ryan. And I just wanted to quickly give you an honest review on Aliens Colonial Marines. Partially because I think it's received a lot of very fair criticism, and it deserves a lot of the criticism it's gotten. But I also think it's gotten a lot of unfair reviews. And the unfairness of the reviews comes from the fact, and I will just address this right away, that we were all anticipating this game, or a lot of us were anticipating this game too much. And Sega and Gearbox built up too much hype, and they couldn't live up to it, unfortunately, for whatever reason, whether you believe the rumors about the development, about, Gearbox allocating resources to Borderlands that should have been put to Aliens, or if you were just excited about them saying that this was the apparent sequel to the Aliens movie, and so you're expecting it to be awesome because that movie was awesome. This game was just really disappointing, unfortunately. And it was just, so I get that people were disappointed by it, and wow, that guy almost got me because I was sitting here talking. But yeah, and so I get the disappointment, and I get that that's where a lot of the negative reviews are coming from. Because that just, our expectations were so high, especially after seeing Gearbox do such great work on the Borderlands games. It was hard not to be really excited. And so, like I said, I get it. But I think for that reason, because a lot of the people reviewing the game were expecting it with so much anticipation, that they allowed that to really affect their reviews, and so they were calling this game terrible, when I really don't think it's terrible. I think it has a lot of problems. I think a lot of the criticisms are valid, but I think that it's gotten a lot of unfair criticism as well. So, let me just start by addressing the criticisms and whether I agree with them or not. First of all, as you can see, the graphics are not spectacular. And I have heard the PC graphics are a lot better than that on the consoles. But I mean, look at that's not great graphics. But for me, that doesn't make or break a game for me. I think the graphics are good enough that I'm not completely taken out of the experience, with a couple exceptions. I mean, there have been a couple times where I noticed something really didn't look good, and that is distracting. But for the most part, I have... Oh, crap. Gotta get out of here. For the most part, the graphics weren't bad enough to be completely distracting for me. And so I'm not going to hold that against the game. I realize it's had a really long development cycle, and it probably should have come out 3 years ago for these graphics to be accepted by people, but I don't think that made it unplayable. What's up, buddy? Hey, buddy? What you doing? You can't get in here because you're so big. Anyway, this is actually one of the coolest sections of the game. This is why I'm doing the review while playing this section, because it was, I think, one of the most well-done sequences of the game. You don't have weapons, and you're being pursued by this giant alien and have to kind of get away. And here, look who it is. Bill Paxton. We find out what happened to to Private Hudson. So, game over, man. Game over. Yeah. As you can see, he looks pretty awful, but yep, that's him. So yeah. What was I saying? So yeah, the graphics are not great. A lot of people have also been talking about glitches, that the aliens are really glitchy. That they get stuck on stuff, stuck in walls, that they get stuck doing this weird kind of jazz hands animation. And I have seen that a couple times. It doesn't happen all the time, and it doesn't happen often enough to where I'd say that the game is broken because of it. But it is a concern, and so, but I'll say again, yeah, there are glitches, but most games have glitches and stuff, and I think, again, that just leads back to the anticipation people had for this game and how much we really wanted it to rock, and it just didn't, unfortunately. And so I think, again, unfair criticisms maybe. I mean, fair enough. Like, it deserves criticism for that, but it doesn't deserve like 2 out of 10 on a review. And anyway, so moving on, the story is really bad. I'll give you that. It's a bad story. It was very disappointing. It did not live up to what we were all expecting it to do in when they told us it was the sequel to the movie Alien. We were all expecting a lot more. And so, yeah, story was bad. It just, it wasn't what we wanted it to be, and the characters also go from being just kind of mediocre and poorly written to just all out bad. There's really no one character in this game that you really want to root for, unfortunately, and so, you know, that's a shame. I will say that's a shame. But other than that, so let me move on to why I think this game isn't terrible and why it's worth playing. I'm gonna come right out and say it. This game was not worth $60 to anyone, and I bought the collector's edition, so fuck me, right? But yeah, it's definitely not picking up at full price. But I would say if it drops to half price or $20. It's worth a playthrough or two, and the reason why is, well, I'll start with the sound. The gun sounds in the game are really, really good. The pulse rifle sounds exactly like it should. And so, like, because of that, and the alien sound effects are good, and the soundtrack is really good. The soundtrack mirrors the movie music a lot. And just sounds really authentic. And so I thought that was really cool. And, yeah, I know, the weird walking animation. But this is actually a really tense and really cool section of the game. And so don't knock it too much. You have to kind of walk by these guys really quietly so that they don't notice you. Otherwise, they will find you and explode at you. So you have to move very slowly. Don't make too much noise or they'll hear you. Anyway, so like I said, the sound is good. The lighting is also really good. Oh crap. I didn't make any noise. I didn't make any noise! Go away! Go away! I didn't. Go away. Oh god. So the lighting at times, it's not always great, but the lighting at times is really effective in this game. You can tell at one point in the development process that a lot of love was put into this game, and for whatever reason, it didn't get done right, and that's really disappointing. But the main reason I would say that this game is worth picking up is because it is fun. And I had a lot of fun playing it, and I just can't say that a game is bad if I had as much fun playing it as I did with this game, and I really did enjoy it most of the way. You didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. I'm not even moving. You see this guy? You see this crap? Look at him. Oh my god. Okay. So, like, I thought it was a very good game. You know, it wasn't a great game. Like I said, a lot of the criticisms are deserved. But I can't hate the game because I really did have fun playing it. And that's not to mention the multiplayer is really fun. And I heard that the main thing Gearbox developed was the multiplayer and that they farmed out the single player to other people. And maybe that's true, and that's why the story was kind of disappointing and the characters were only half developed, if at all. But, you know, I will say, yeah, the multiplayer is super fun. I think they really got it right. I don't think people are going to be playing it for as long as it deserves, just because this game has gotten such crap reviews. But it's worth a try. For those of you who have it already, I share in your pain. For those of us who paid full price. But for those of you who didn't, I wouldn't completely write it off. It's not as bad as people say. I had a lot of fun with it. I think you will too if you give it a chance. So, you know, my honest review of this game, the score I would give it out of 10, because people love giving scores out of 10, is I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Damn, man. You didn't tell me those guys exploded.
And that says to me, you know, it's not a great game, but it's decent enough to play, and that's how I feel about it. Like,
fucking exploded.
Unfortunately, this isn't a great game. I wanted it to be great so badly. I was looking forward to it. I was talking it up to people, and I'm really sorry for anybody I talked it up to that actually bought it at full price. But it's a good game. It's at least a decent game, and it's worth playing if you like Aliens. If you don't, give it a miss. If you don't like first-person shooters, give it a miss, because the one thing I didn't mention is the Call of Duty-esque sections of this game where you're shooting other people. You're fighting Weyland-Yutani mercenaries, and that really feels kind of like kind of insulting. Look, it's Newt Stahl. See, there's little stuff like that from the movie that I love. Anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of person-on-person action. That sounded wrong, but yeah, a lot of shooting of other people that you kind of wish wasn't there. So yeah, just take it with a grain of salt. I think it's a really fun game. I think it's worth playing. And so, yeah, like I said, that's my honest review. 6 out of 10. It's not the worst game ever, like people are saying, but it's also not a great game. And that's kind of the final word. Oh God, he heard me. Oh God, look at him. He knows I'm here, but they can't see. They can only hear. Which I think is a kind of a cool mechanic. Don't explode on me. Yeah, walk away. Walk away. Okay. Oh God, your friend is here. Okay. Anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. That's my review. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, if you think I'm crazy and still don't want to play it. Just let me know. And so that's my review. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you on the next video. Later.